Good morning, tutor Liliana. I am here ready for the next session with my students. As usual, I'm going to give some time for them to get here into the chat room. Thank you.
Morning.
Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, Nelson. How are you?
Much better than yesterday. Thank you for asking.
Okay.
So let's wait for a couple of minutes while the other students get here, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Well, okay, my friends, good morning again. I can see that you are three on the tutor, so we can consider that we are complete, except for Brian. Oh, Brian is coming in. Okay, thank you for being here for today's session. Um, we are going to get straight into the content. And remember that there was something left to do from the previous class, so we couldn't complete the session because of time. Do you remember, Patricia, what we are going to do as the first exercise for today?
Oh, okay. Hello, good morning to everyone. And no, Nelson, I guess that you are going to give us some verbs, but you told us that you will tell us today. Is that right?
I didn't give you any further information about these verbs.
If I remember well, you didn't.
Okay. All right. So I guess this time uh, I'm going to start again showing you the options with those verbs. So just a moment, I'm getting the file open. Okay, here they are. How many verbs can you see, Carol?
10 verbs.
Okay, that's right. But before getting into the exercise 4, let's try to review just to make the connection between the previous session and today's, okay? So we had the opportunity to work the past perfect tense. We studied something about the meanings of the past perfect. We could go farther with the first one, which is new experiences or old experiences. And the second part we did was based on facts that somebody had done in the past, and when another action is being interrupted using before or after. Do you remember? These are the things we did in the previous session. So I'm going to show you some of this for you to remember. Exercise 3. Remember these two images where we have to use the word before, and before that we have to use here the past perfect. And do you remember the second part? Patricia, do you remember the way we have to use it here when we use the word before?
Yes, that after the word after, we need to use the perfect tense. Is that the
Here?
question? Where are you signaling, pardon?
I am
The
showing you the
zebra?
example of the
Oh,
zebra.
the zebra.
Remember, the first part is the past perfect, and the second part when we use before is the past simple.
The zebra
Zebra.
had it eaten. No, ate. The zebra had ate. No, the zebra from the line. I don't remember.
Okay, the
Don't
zebra
ask me
had
today.
escaped. Don't worry, we are just trying to make a little review about this. The zebra had escaped. The zebra had escaped from the lion before he finally ate it. And the man called the technical service before they helped him. So, before and the past simple tense, And we had two more activities. Remember when we use after, so we have past perfect tense here on the first part, and the past perfect here too. That's what we did in the previous lesson. We also did some exercises. And for today, I have to interview the exercise 3. Yeah, sorry, exercise 4 is that I'm going to interview every one of you. So please take a look at these verbs in 1 minute. Okay, everyone. For every verb you can see on your screens, I have a question. These are personal questions. Depending on the verb you decide to select, I will ask you a personal question. So everybody is going to have the chance to answer these questions and try to give further information, okay? Not only responding yes, I had or no, I hadn't. That's the simplest way to answer a yes no question. But today I need to practice the long answers, okay? So let's start with Carol. Carol, will you please select one of these verbs?
Been.
Been. All right, let me write something here. Been. Well, this is the question. Have you been absent from any of the English sessions?
Yes, I had been
Absent.
in absent in three, four session before that.
Why?
Because the first one, I have a problem with my computer. Um, the other three, because I was traveling in another city. I didn't connection with the internet.
Okay, I didn't have connection to the
I
internet.
didn't
That's
have.
right. Okay, good. Patricia, now will you please select one verb?
Okay. A difficult one. Practice it.
Okay, practice.
Practice.
Well, here's the question for you. Have you practiced English conversation in an online environment?
I'm thinking.
Don't worry.
Let me. I hadn't practiced online conversation before. Ona, yes, that is my answer. Is that an answer? I
Okay,
haven't
so
practiced online English conversation before.
this is a new experience for you.
Well, I mean, this course is a new experience for me.
Okay, good. Now let's go with Lisette. Lisette, please make your selection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I study. Sorry.
Study. Study.
Yeah.
All right, here's the question for Lisette. Have you studied English in this way?
I have studied English.
Had you studied English in this way?
Yes, I have I have studied English in this session.
Not in this session, in this way.
Way in Spanish is
Is forma. In this way is de esta forma, de esta forma.
mm, no. I haven't studied English in this way because I don't have the opportunity um, to study English in other with other tutor. Uh, uh, Only Saturdays. Uh, I had practice English face to face environment.
Okay, good. Now let's go with Brian. Brian, please make your selection.
Morning. Um, done.
Done. Done. Here's the question for Brian. Brian, have you done exercises in past perfect tense lately?
Yes, I have. I had done some exercises in the previous class.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Now let's go back with Carol. Carol, choose another verb, please.
Felt,
Excuse me?
felt,
Felt. All right, here's the question. Have you felt confused in a class like we had last Monday? I repeat the question. Have you felt confused in a class like we had last Monday?
no, I hadn't felt confused in any class, speaking class,
Could you tell us why?
because I understand all you say, the teacher say, and I understand all the topics, but always I don't remember some things, but I don't felt had confused. Sorry, I don't hadn't felt
I
confused.
hadn't. I hadn't felt confused.
I hadn't felt confused.
All right. Patricia, it's your turn again. Patricia is not here. Okay, so let's go with Lisette again. Would you please select a new verb?
Imagine it.
Which one?
Imagine it.
Imagined.
Imagine.
Okay. Imagined. Well, here's the question. Have you imagined how entertaining it is to practice English in this way? I'm going to repeat the question to you. Have you imagined how entertaining it is to practice English in this way?
Mm, I have yeah I have imagine have entertained because Okay, all practice uh, in this moment the other form. Uh,
Well, it was not too clear for me. The answer is yes or no?
yes, yes,
Yes, you had imagined.
yes.
All right. Brian, will you please select one more? Brian,
Yes, I'm here. Interacted.
interacted.
Sad, sad.
Interacted. Okay, here's the question. Have you interacted with new people from your computer? Have you interacted with new people from your computer? When I say new people, is our group.
Uh, Absolutely. I had interacted with new people uh, from my computer since 2 weeks ago, if I'm correct.
But you mean this group or a different group?
I mean this group.
Well, and how about a different group? Have you had the chance to interact with different people from this group?
No, I hadn't had the chance to interact to another to other people, excuse me, from other group.
Okay, so we can consider this is your first experience. That's right. So I'm going back to Patricia. Please make your selection.
Don't, please.
Dawn is being selected.
Mm. Felt,
Felt is being selected. You can select belonged, had, and used.
okay, then belong, please.
Okay, this
Belong.
column. Belong.
Belong.
Okay, Patricia, here's the question.
Um,
Have you belonged to a group like ours? Have you belonged to a group like ours?
No, I hadn't belonged to a group like ours
Why not?
because this has been a new experience for me.
Okay, that's enough. Good. Now, Carol, please.
Hat.
Had. Okay, Carol. Have you had an English tutor like me? Have you had an English tutor like me?
I had a tutor, English tutor, but not like you. But I don't remember, but I have a lot of tutors, men.
All right, but when I say like me, is like in an online environment.
No, in all studied English at UNAT, just have had women tutors.
Okay, so this is the first experience you are
Yes,
assigned a
the first
man
experience
as
with
an
a man.
English tutor. Okay, my pleasure.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and Lisette, The final verb is used. This is the last option. Used. Lisette, have you used the internet to learn a language? Have you used the internet to learn a language? Lisette. Lisette is not here. Brian, how about you? Have you used the internet to learn a language?
Yes, I had. I had used a lot of application and websites to learn English.
Okay. Okay, my friends. This was supposed to be exercise 4 for the previous session. And can you see that it's a little bit difficult to be taken by surprise? And this is wonderful when we have the opportunity to interact with more people. Because when we enter into conversations, we don't know what is going to happen in the future. So a conversation when we are with more people, sometimes it gets interesting, stressful, or boring. But always we have to be prepared for the answer. Sometimes the question is not clear, and it's nothing to be worried about because we have the chance to ask the speaker for repetition or things like that. For example, yesterday I had to take an English exam at Sena, IELTS examination, and it was pretty difficult the session for conversation because they give you options to compare to pictures, to talk about the pictures, and you always have to be prepared, right? So that's wonderful to have that possibility to show how much vocabulary we have and the way we use and the way we connect the sentences. It's not easy, but this is only carried out with practice. If we don't practice, we will be stuck, and that's not the idea. Okay, so practicing conversation is it's emotional, it's sometimes stressing, but take it easy, right? So the advice I am giving to you and that you may offer to your future students is to relax. The first thing we have to do is to relax and trust the knowledge we have. Okay. Did you like this experience, Patricia?
Yes, I love it. It had been a very nice experience.
Was it surprising for you in any way?
You told us yesterday something,
Yeah.
so I was expecting something. It was a little bit like a nervous because something was coming, but it was very, very nice to have the opportunity to practice.
Okay, yeah, that's right, because we are not prepared. This is surprising. Well, so it's time for us to continue with the session for today. So I'm going to stop sharing this slide. Well, Brian, for today, what are we supposed to do today? Do you remember the things I talked to you about before this session?
I don't remember because you didn't say anything about the topic for today.
Are you sure?
Uh, yes, I'm sure.
Lisette, how about you? What are we doing today?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know. Wow. Okay, Carol, save my life.
Um, we finish the topic. We start to discuss the Monday, and that's it. Today we start with a few questions with the verbs you given us, and finish the exercise and see the topic, the past perfect.
Okay, Patricia, what do you think is coming up next for today's session? Make your guess.
I think that very interesting things are coming for this session.
Don't say that. Don't you know exactly the
Sad enough, I don't know exactly what is coming, so surprise us.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some clues. The first clues. When we study a simple tense like past simple, do you remember what we studied after that? Do you remember? Nobody remembers here in the group?
No, I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Okay, when we finish a simple tense, we usually introduce the progressive or continuous form. So for today, we keep on moving on the past perfect continuous. All right, we are about to finish the past simple tense with these forms. Okay, so I am opening the file for today. So I will have the possibility to share with you. But before going to that, Brian, can you give us a possible definition for the past perfect tense? Progressive, past perfect progressive tense.
Well, giving a definition is hard for me. Past perfect continuous.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess it's something that had been happening at some moment in the past.
Okay. Well, let's see. It's time to share that. Patricia, would you please read the definition for the past perfect continuous?
Yes, past perfect continuous. It's a form of verb that shows the action or states started in the past and continued until some point in the past.
Okay, thank you. So I will repeat that information. Well, it is a form of the verb that shows the action or state started in the past and continued until some point in the past. Well, when the definition contains continued until some point in the past, this is the point in which the action was in progress. Okay, that's why the past perfect continuous was in progress at a specific time in the past. Do not confuse this with the past continuous. All right, this is quite different, and we will see that in the following slide. Well, as we usually describe, this time we have the affirmative statements. And take a look at the four pictures and the sentences and try to get the most of them. Proceed, please. Now, Carol, what can you get from the first example?
When we talking about continuous, always is the verb, the second verb or the use the verb with ing. So being is estado. Sorry, the past perfect we use had, and another verb is been. Always in this tense we use has been, had been, and the next the verb use ing is action continuous. It's in the past, but it's continuous.
Okay, so it's clear to see that in the past perfect continuous we have to use two auxiliary verbs, had and been. Been is the special word that allows me to use the next verb in ing form. So for this occasion, we will concentrate on had been. Uh, the next one is for Patricia. What did you get from the second example? Patricia, you there? Or gone again? No, you are here. Patricia, what did you get from the second example?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah, sorry, the connection, something happened. So it seems that the action during the morning still is in progress. So something like the morning didn't finish, but he's still reading the newspaper, but is not present, but it's like he start, like now it's 9 and he's still working with the news, reading the newspaper, something like that.
Well, that's the way you understand it, right? But this time
I
the
don't really
complement.
understand the action. I don't really understand at what moment is the situation happening. I understand it's happening during the past, specific in the morning, but for me, it's not clear if the morning, if this sentence, if the person that wrote the sentence, or by saying that sentences, you are in the afternoon or in the evening. So I don't know when to speak like that.
All right. So, can you please tell me the translation into Spanish?
No, no really. Es like
No, you.
Harry había estado leyendo el periódico desde esta mañana.
Okay, that's right. That's the appropriate translation. Harry había estado leyendo el periódico desde esta mañana. It means that the action had finished because it's not morning anymore. So as you were trying to clarify, you're not sure if the one who said the sentence was in the afternoon or in the evening after, right? So this sentence shows that the action took place at a specified moment in the past, all right? So the action is finished. Is that clear now? All these actions are finished, are not happening anymore, are not happening now. All these things happened in the past, all right? That's why it's called past. Brian, please let us know what you got from the third example about Kelly.
Well, Kelly had been jogging near here. Uh, with this example, I realized that Kelly had finished her exercise in some specific moment in the past.
Okay, at some moment in the past, the action finished. Okay, that's clear. And Lisette, the last one, the telephone.
This sentence end the past 14 minutes. Uh, in Spanish, I understand. El teléfono
Está sonando.
había estado sonando por 10 minutos.
Is it still ringing or not anymore?
No anymore.
Okay, that's right. So I want you to understand that all these actions are not happening anymore. They finished at a certain point in the past. Okay, so as we can see, we can use different kinds of complements, but all these complements are related to the past. Okay, so I want you to have this clear on your minds and try not to be confused. All right, so as I said it again, so please, these actions are finished now. In this moment, all these actions are in the past. Let's try to practice a little bit the past perfect continuous. And you please get some paper if you don't have any, and get something to write with. Well, and the first exercise reads what had been going on. You can say when or where. When you say when, you can introduce time clauses in the past, okay? You can give a day or you can give a time. Even you can say a year, okay? On the where we have different options at a location or whatever you want to say. So we have 6 pictures here. Oh, the first three ones are going to be for Carol and Patricia. The first three, the one I am pointing on the screen, and the second 3 pictures are for Lisette and Brian. Is that clear? Please confirm if you know what you're going to do.
Yes, I think I know what I am going to do.
Okay. So I repeat, the first 3 pictures are for Carol and Patricia, and the second 3 pictures are for Lisette and Brian. You have 2 to 3 minutes. Proceed, please. Are you ready, Carol, with your examples?
Yes, I'm ready.
Patricia, you are ready too?
Yes, I think I'm ready.
Okay, so let's go first with Carol. Carol, will you please read the three examples you have?
Tom had been sweeping his garage because it was very dirty. The
Can you repeat the verb, please?
is sweeping, sweeping, sorry, sweeping.
Okay, but that's not the correct verb. Sweeping is
Barrer,
barrer, right?
yes.
And how do you say trapear?
Mopping.
Okay, you please
Change.
read it again, but this time you say mopping.
Tom had been mopping his garage because it was very dirty. Dirty.
Good. Next.
The teacher has been teaching science language in the communal room all morning.
Can you please read the auxiliary verb?
Teaching
No, the auxiliary verb.
has had been sing language.
Had been, remember, not has.
Had been. The teacher
Okay,
had been
continue. The teacher had been
teaching sign language in the communal room all the morning.
good. Next.
Lisa has been riding all night.
Thank you. Patricia, can we listen to yours?
Okay, yes. He had been mopping the house today.
Yeah,
Nelson had been teaching English from his home this morning, and she had been riding her horse in the forest today.
perfect. Now let's go with Lisette. Lisette, can you please read your three examples?
Yeah, the first example,
Yeah,
he had been smoking in the park for 5 minutes.
all right. Next.
Kathy had been resting on the beach yesterday.
Well, okay, continue
Another
and let me see something further. The last
Carl,
one.
the next picture,
Excuse me?
the next picture.
Yeah, yeah, next picture.
Carlos and Mario had been practicing taekwondo at the school last week.
All right, thank you. Brian, your turn.
Okay. The old man had been smoking in the office some minutes ago.
Yeah,
The
next.
lady had been sunbathing in the beach this morning.
Okay.
The teens had been practicing karate yesterday at school.
All right, now you listen to my examples. If we can compare them, so please compare them. Well, for the first picture, I have the man had been mopping the floor 5 minutes ago. Number two, the teacher had been explaining the lesson until the bell sounded. Number three, Gina had been riding a horse in her father's farm. Number four, that man had been smoking for all his life until he died. Number five, Lisette had been sunbathing at the beach on her last vacation time. And number six, these boys had been practicing karate for the school tournament. Can you see that we have similar sentences? Can you evidence that they are very similar in the structure and on the verbs? So the activity is well done. Okay, so congratulations everyone. Uh, Are you still confused, Patricia, or you think it's been clarified these things to you?
Your explanations are clear and examples are easy to understand. Is
Okay.
yes, thank you.
Anybody else? Any problems? Any questions? Please confirm.
Yes, clear.
It's clear. All right. Remember, whenever you have something to ask or something that is not clear, uh, you ask me. Now, let's move on with the negative statements. As we can see, the auxiliary verb is in negative form, and the contracted form of had not is hadn't. That's the only difference, right? As you can see, we have the same pictures as the affirmative statements, but this time something has changed. It can be the verb or it can be the complement. In some, I change the verb, and in some, I change the complement. So for the first picture we have, he hadn't been playing the violin. It's evident to see that he's not playing the violin, so he hadn't been playing the violin. The next one, Harry, hadn't been reading a magazine. For the third one, we have Kelly hadn't been swimming near here. And the final one is the telephone hasn't been activating the voice messages. If we compare these sentences with the previous one, let me show you the previous one. Take a look at them for a moment. Playing the piano for 2 hours, reading the newspaper since this morning, jogging near here, and has been ringing for 10 minutes. If we go to the negative, he hadn't been playing the violin. He hadn't been reading a magazine. Kelly hadn't been swimming near here. And the telephone hadn't been activating the voice messages. It's clear to see that there's no difficulties here. Whenever, this is what I do with my students when I teach them the affirmative statements, they usually make one common mistake. I think I told you this before in some section. Uh, Remember, when you tell the students to write something in negative, that being based on an affirmative statement, you ask them to change something. You can tell them to change a subject, to change the verb, to change the complement. It's not only saying not and the sentence is in negative. And try to clarify with this example. The affirmative sentence is today is Wednesday. Negative. Today isn't Wednesday. Grammatically, it is correct, but this is not what I'm looking for from the students. I want them to be more uh, smarter somehow. I'm trying to use different words. The negative form for today is Wednesday. Today is not Friday, right? It's something more accurate to the things I'm looking from the students. Is that clear? So you please, when you are in front of students, you give them this advice to modify a sentence. Another one, for example, Kelly is drinking orange juice. Negative. Jenny is not drinking orange juice. Something different, okay? So that's the way I want you to do these things. When we convert something from affirmative to something to negative. Is that clear? That's clear, everyone? I don't listen to you. I can't hear you.
Okay, Nelson, I understood the last part because somehow I didn't have connection, but I think I got what you meant.
All right. They said before you go. Did you understand what I said? I think she's gone. She was telling me that she has to go because they are evacuating the building, the university. Because we in Colombia they are doing something like an example to evacuate for
Yes,
an earthquake or something like that.
yes,
But she has to go.
in my
Well,
building too.
now,
We have
excuse me, somebody was talking to me. Carol? Tell me,
today
Carol.
there is a simulation with against air takes in all Bogota. I don't know in the another city, but it's in Bogota.
Yeah, it's in Colombia too.
Yes, I have to go. Sorry.
So you have to go too.
Yes.
Yeah, Brian, you have to go too, or keep on tune.
No, I can continue.
Okay. So Carol, if you have to go, you can go, and we continue with Patricia and Brian. We can't hear you. Please activate your microphone.
Sorry. I don't know if I can come back to speaking class, but I tried.
Go, go, save your life. Okay, my friends. So continue here. Oh, oh, oh. In the apartment here, in the building I live in, they are also evacuating too.
So you have to go.
It's a pity, yeah, they are
Go and save your life.
knocking on my door.
Yeah, you need to practice those things, Nelson.
It's no problem.
No, of course no. I will study by myself. I need that.
Okay, so
Bye
sorry, I
bye.
had no idea I had to be taking part of this.
Yes, you have to.
No, Brian.
Go and save your life.
Me too. Okay, so sorry that I have to go and leave this in this way, but we can continue next class, right?
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Okay, thank you. Wait, stopping here. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you then. Okay? Can you hear the sign on the screen?
Okay,
Goodbye.
goodbye.
Sorry. Goodbye.